Hi, welcome to 5 Minutes with the Guru, and I'm pleased to say I've got my lovely client with me, Theresa Kramer here, and we're going to talk about her interesting life, some ideas about financial planning and how that's impacted Theresa, and also some little things that I think you'll get an interesting twist on dementia. We'll talk about that a little later on. First of all, Theresa, you've been with us for over 5 years now, so it's been a little bit of a journey on the way through. A few things have happened on that period of time as well, but so far, as we live good full lives, lots of things have happened, and you've had the love of your life pass away. You got remarried, recently divorced. You're now single, grandmother for the first time, and you also enjoy a lot of travel. So that seems to be putting a big smile on your face. And you've got 2 adult children, and just recently you've got a little granddaughter, Amelia, who's just turned 1 year old. So tell me a bit about being a grandmother.
I love being a grandmother. You get to do all the things that you wanted to do for your own children. I love the fact that I can afford to spoil her a little bit now, but I get to give her back, which I think is one of the best things about being a grandma. You get to do all the good things.
Yeah. Get to spoil them and hand them over when they start being naughty.
Exactly. And, you know, I get to do some special things, like I'm going to spend 6 weeks with my children in a few weeks because baby number 2 is due. So I'm going down to look after Amelia while the new baby is born, and then stay and help mum out for a while.
Yeah, fantastic.
I love being able to do things like that.
Yeah. And part of financial freedom is doing things when you want to do it, but also being able to do it financially.
Exactly.
So let's talk for a minute about your personal world and the financial world, how those mix. You're in your previous working life, you were a nurse and worked up into a businesswoman, and you specialised in care, and particularly in dementia, and you've got a lot of knowledge in that. We're going to talk about a little bit later. You had shares in a business and end up selling those shares for a good amount of money, and that set you up for the future, being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it. And now you've sold some other things. We've bought a new home. We've set yourself up. You have set yourself up into such a lovely sort of situation now that you're secure in the new home, can travel when you want, you've got a good income coming through. Before you got any financial advice, what were your biggest concerns when you knew you had to make big money decisions?
The fact that I have never been a financial person. So, you know, when you build a career that's around people and care, and I'd say even when I held senior management positions, the first position I would ever fill would be to make sure I had a great accountant working with me, somebody who could speak English and not financial speak. And so when I was getting to the point where I was going to sell my shares in the business, and I knew I was going to come into enough money to retire, it became really important to understand what to do with that money so that it would still be around for the long term, but I could do what I wanted to do with it in the short term. And that I didn't end up with difficult tax positions, that if I wanted to do things to assist my family, they weren't going to be penalised. There were a whole lot of questions that I didn't know the answers to. And quite frankly, when I looked around for some advice, I actually got some advice which wasn't very good and scared me a lot. And then a friend recommended that I come and talk to you. And I like the fact that you spoke to me in English rather than financial speak, and you still do. And you made me understand what was possible and gave me choices about my money, how I wanted it invested, how much risk I wanted to take, and that I understood the tax implications of various options. And we worked out what was the best current solution and what was the long-term plan.
We think when we set things up initially is very important, but also the progress meetings we have annually, or however many times we need to see you or you see us during the year. What do you get out of those progress meetings, and what's the importance of those progress meetings in your view?
Oh, they're about confidence for me. I consider them a bit like going to the doctor for an annual checkup. You know, I need to know that my health is in good order for the coming 12 months. And it's the same with a financial review. I like to know that the money's doing well, that you're doing what you're supposed to do, what I pay you to do, and that you can also talk to me about changes in the economy, the world picture, that may or may not impact the next 12 months. I see them as very important because they give me the confidence to go away and not worry about my money.
Good.
Hillross talks about financial freedom. For me, it's the confidence that somebody's looking after it, and if there's a problem, you'll come to me and tell me. I don't have to keep an eye on you every day, which is something I don't want to do.
Yeah, no, good. We talk about financial freedom, and that can be different things to different people, but what's your idea of financial freedom? Are you there now, or is it something that's work in progress that just continues on?
Well, I'd say it's both. Because I'm quite financially comfortable, I have a home that I'm happy with, and I feel quite stable in my everyday environment. But I also know that if things were to change, I have the capacity, with your advice, to adapt, to make changes to my financial plan so that I can, in fact, change my future financially if I need to. But at the moment, you know, things are good. I feel like I'm on a platform, but if I need to climb a few more stairs, I have that capacity as well.
Yeah, great. And you're in a position with your skill set, part of being a businesswoman, but part of being nursing background, that you're now doing some consulting for care, particularly with dementia facilities. Before we talk about dementia itself, how's that consulting work fit in with your retirement, fitting in with being a grandmother? How do you juggle that?
I was actually asked to take up a consulting job, and initially I thought, no, I decided I was going to retire. I'd moved out of my business life, and then the client actually came back to me 3 times and asked me would I take up this work, and in the end I agreed, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I've worked for this client for quite a number of years, firstly as their employee, and then I consulted to them for a lot of time, so we know each other quite well. And it's very nice to have a lifetime's expertise that you've built up over your career valued. You don't kind of feel like it's cut off and now my life is, you know, about doing other things, but the intelligence that I've built and the experience, just in a little way, you know, it's maybe only a day a week or a day a fortnight, and people still ask me questions.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
valuable knowledge.
Yes,
Yeah.
and yes, so
Yeah.
I enjoy contributing still.
Fantastic.